Hello everybody, I am not dead yet, and today I want to talk to you about the mythical concept of your dream physique, and I really do want to place emphasis on the mythical aspect of it all, because it seems to me that if you're a part of the fitness space, especially online, there seems to be this general consensus that you will never be happy with the way you look. It's the second you pick up a weight, you will never be satisfied with your physique, ever. No one's ever done it, no one ever will do it. Even Chris Bumstead, who's the Mr. Olympia, is not happy with the way he looks. Halfway to your dream physique is enough, and I want to throw my hat into the ring a little bit, because I have an opinion that's a little bit more against the grain, at least I believe, and that will come later. But the reason why I decided to film this video at all was because I was scrolling through both TikTok and Instagram, and I came across two separate videos that talked about this, and it really just kind of made me go, maybe I should throw my hat into the ring, and maybe I should speak out about this. And so the first video that I actually came across was made by Sean Nalawani, and I'll have Skybox Designs, who is the guy who edits my videos, throw up the short, YouTube short or Instagram reel or whatever up on screen now. And as you can see, it's Sean Nalawani talking, and the caption reads, "Me talking to somebody who lifts weights and is satisfied with their physique, only for the camera to show a different angle to show that he's talking to nobody." The implication obviously being that nobody who lifts weights is satisfied with their physique. And the second video that showed up on my For You page on TikTok was by actually Lean Beef Patty, where she had that like Adult Swim meme music where it's like, "Running away is easy, it's the leaving that's hard," I think is the actual lyrics, but she has the like caption where it's like, "Lifting weights is easy, it's the never being satisfied that's hard." Again, the implication being that she enjoys lifting weights, but it's very difficult for her mentally because she's never satisfied with her physique. Or potentially strength too, I'm not sure, I can't remember the exact caption, but yeah. And even Sean, like, I take issue with that, but even Sean says in his little caption in Instagram that, like, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, it's important to constantly push yourself to be better. However, I do agree with that. However, I really don't think that this continuing to talk and emphasize the fact that you are never satisfied is really helping people. And I know there's going to be people saying like, "Oh, these videos are obviously just a joke." Sean's especially is just a joke. And then Patty's video is obviously just sharing her experience with her own body dysmorphia and stuff like that. And that these videos can help give people an outlet for how they feel and let people realize that they're not alone in how they feel. And, you know, just have give some people some shared experiences and allow people to connect over a little bit of dark humor and struggle. And I think that's a-okay, but I also think that it's important to give a kind of counter argument to that, a little bit of a push back, because I find that continuously talking like this and surrounding yourself with a mentality like this and continuously getting fed messages like that can almost lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy where you tell yourself like, "I will never be satisfied if I do this," and almost feeding into that like, am I really a true lifter if I'm never satisfied? If I really want to be taken seriously, I should always continue to push and push and push and push, or never be happy with the way I look. And it feeds into it's a negative feedback loop that continues to feed into itself. And again, the more people that these types of messages and content reaches, the more people get drawn into that feedback loop. And now I'm not saying that Patty or Sean intend to do this. Again, I believe they have the purest of intentions, but I also believe that it's important to kind of, again, counteract the popular consensus. Because, especially with Sean's video, the implication being that, like, nobody who lifts is satisfied with their physique. Well, hi, Sean. I know you don't know me. I know you probably won't even watch this video, but hi, my name's Eli. I lift weights, and I am very satisfied with my physique. In fact, like, if I never gained any muscle or lost or got leaner, if this was the physique that I was stuck with for the rest of my life, I would be perfectly satisfied with that. I am very happy with the way I look, and 99.9% of the time when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. And like, sure, there are times where I look and I go, "Ooh, I'm a little bit bloated today," or "Ooh, you know, maybe if my arms look small," or something, right? Like, you're never 100% happy all the time, but by and large, the vast majority of the time I look in the mirror, I would not change a thing. I'm perfectly okay with the way that I look. And, now, again, people will say, "Oh, well, Eli, you're a boxer," and that is true. I don't lift for lifting's sake. I'm not trying to get impressive powerlifting numbers. I'm not trying to get a physique to rival the Greek gods. I'm trying to box. And so my endeavor of you will never be satisfied is my boxing. But even then, I still think that it's a little bit different, especially when you're like with a physique goal, because people attach a lot of their self-worth to how they look, which is something that will eventually leave you. You know, looks fade. With my boxing, and yes, everything I'm saying can be implemented to boxing as well. However, my mentality that I take towards my boxing is that I am a student of the sport. I'm not looking, there is no such thing as the best boxer to ever live ever. There's just no such thing. The guy that you beat today could be the guy that beats you tomorrow. So I am a forever student of the sport. I'm always constantly looking to learn more. It's interesting to me. And I mean, if that's what you mean when you say you're never really satisfied with your physique, that you like to go, oh, there's more to push for, that is great. And I wish you nothing but the best. But a lot of people, when they talk about the never being satisfied aspect of building a great physique, it is more often than not linked to body dysmorphia, where despite the fact that they look amazing, all they can do is criticize themselves. And I think, again, the industry that we are all a part of plays into that, with the overemphasis on being way too lean. But again, I believe with me that it's more just I want to keep learning. I want to keep fighting strong people, and so long as I can continue to learn and continue to better myself, I am happy with that, and I will continue to do that, because you'll never just be the perfect boxer with no flaws and know everything. And it's very similar to lifting weights. However, I don't attach my self-worth to that. I don't, and I do like the way I look, and I would be, upset if I say gained like 50 pounds of fat. I wouldn't want that, right? But ultimately speaking, it's not a all-consuming endeavor for me, like it becomes with a lot of other people. And as I said, the more you feed into and the more you see content that kind of plays on that idea of you will never be satisfied, I find it continues to be almost reinforcement of that idea. And it's like it validates that idea in your head that it's okay and that it's right to feel this way. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. You're not wrong to feel a certain way. But again, like, this can negatively affect your life, and a lot of people talk about how their body dysmorphia negatively affects their life. And the main counter argument to what I'm saying is, well, look at people's expectations. And yes, I think it is important to say that, like, if your goal physique is somebody who is enhanced, yeah, you're probably not going to get there. Like, if you want to look like Big Ramy, or hell, Chris Bumstead, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or anybody else who is, blasting gear, a bodybuilder, then yeah, okay. Maybe it's important to tell someone, hey, take it back a little bit. But at the same time, I don't think the vast majority of people want that. I think a lot of people think they look good, but when I was growing up, and even now, right, I always said that I didn't want to be as big as Arnold, and I didn't want to be as lean as Bruce Lee. I wanted to be somewhere in the middle, just enough size to have people say, hey, you work out, and lean enough to, maybe get a little bit of definition, have some abs. And honestly, I think I've achieved it. If you, scroll through my Instagram or whatever, you can see that, I have that. And so my dream physique, and people say, well, you had reasonable expectations, but what's wrong with that? Hell, like, I've had people say to me in this bodybuilding space that being satisfied with anywhere from what am I, like 11 to 13% body fat, 150 pounds at 5'7", like, this is what I look like, And again, lighting's not great, but I mean, anyway, people are saying that I should aspire for more. And it's like, you're encouraging body dysmorphia, and you're encouraging people to value things like being lean or being massively oversized. I don't think that's good. Just simply put, I think it's okay for people to settle for a physique that's relatively moderate and to just be happy. A lot of people, and this kind of goes back to what I said in my progressive overload video where I'm like, I stopped progressively overloading. It's this idea that, like, especially if you're in the fitness space, you have this confirmation bias of everyone wants to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. No, like, there are a lot of people I know, myself included, who would be perfectly happy with a specific physique and would actually stop progressively overloading in weight to just maintain. Not maintain with a T. They just want to keep the muscle. They want a very specific look, and so they're not trying to get stronger. They're not trying to maximize hypertrophy, get as much muscle as possible. They have lost the weight. They think they look good in the mirror. They think they can go to the beach, take their shirt off, and be happy. And so they stop progressing in the weights, and they keep doing what they're doing to get there, to keep healthy, and they maintain. And the more time I spend in the fitness space, the more I find that this seems to be a really difficult concept for a lot of people to grasp. And again, like, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, I want to be a professional boxer, so you have to keep pushing for that, right? But I talk about what I do and say you shouldn't do what I do. It's not healthy. It's not good, especially for the average person, to train the amount that I do or to have the mentality that I have. When I talk about what I do to box or the amount of training I do, I talk about it in a sense of, if you want to do what I'm doing, if you want to be like me, if you want to accomplish the things that I am accomplishing, these are the things that I had to do to get there, and that you're probably going to have to do something relatively similar. And it's a lot of effort. And that's kind of, but for the average person, I don't think that the average person would relate to this I am never satisfied. I think a lot of people can, at the very least, be satisfied with the physique that they obtain. And I think that's okay. You know, there's a big push, because I think a lot of people with things like the fat acceptance movement and the body positivity movement are pushing for this whole, like, you need to you never stop grinding, keep going. But again, it's like the pendulum swings, right? So we swung way too far one way, and now we're swinging way too far the other. I think it's important to take a step back and look at the road behind you to see how far you've come, instead of just the road in front of you to see how much further you have to go. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to say, I'm gonna camp here. I am content, I am happy, and I think it's possible. And again, I'm not trying to say that creators that post this or talk about their own experience with body dysmorphia are like encouraging other people to do it or anything. I'm just saying that the sheer abundance of content that talks about how you will never be satisfied could have a negative effect on the people that consume it. So I'm trying to do my best to counteract that. And I mean, think of it, if we thought about this in any other way, and let's take mental health for an example, right? Because this is physical health. Let's take mental health for an example. You will never believe that you are a good person. Never. You will always feel shitty about who you are as a person. No matter how much good you do, you will never ever feel good about yourself. There will always be that crushing feeling. And you may feel better some days and worse some days, but there will always be this feeling that you are not enough. That doesn't sound healthy, does it? And now again, and I understand there's even nuance there, because even I say, like, I don't believe myself to be a good person. I believe myself to be a person that is doing the best he can with what he has, and that's all I ask of others. So, but if I keep putting out video after video saying, like, oh, the worst part of trying to be a better person is realizing that you will never actually be a good person, I think people would take more issue with it. But because it's, under this guise of building a good physique, it allows people to kind of distance themselves mentally, have some cognitive dissonance, and go, well, I mean, that's natural. You always want to improve. You always want to be better. When taken to extremes, it can ultimately be self-destructive, right? But just to cap things off, for now, at least, no. There are people out there that lift who are satisfied with their strength levels, their cardio levels, their physique, and are perfectly happy. That can look in the mirror and say, hey, I look great. I look awesome. I'm one of them. And yeah, sure, like you will, and you will have moments of ups and downs. Where, like even me, I'll look in the mirror and go, "Oh, I'm a little bloated today. Ooh, my arms look a little small today." But again, that's fairly rare. More often than not, I'm checking myself out in the mirror, and if I didn't gain another pound of muscle, or never lost another pound of fat, and I stayed like that, you take a snapshot of me now. And again, I know that's not how the body works, but if you did that and just said, this is the physique you'll have until you eventually get old and start to lose it, I'd be alright with that. I think I look good. And even if we take it into a more realistic account and say, this will be your range, anywhere, you will not be able to go, you'll be stuck within 11 to 13%. I mean, I'm good. Great. I look amazing. And I love the way I look. And I think it's important to have people out there that can say that. That can say, yeah, I'm satisfied with my physique. You can. Yes, as long as your goals are relatively reasonable, you can achieve your dream physique. And you can be satisfied. And you can be happy. It's just important to, again, have some reasonable expectations. And really enjoy what you're doing. I think, anyway. But that is all I have to say for this video. I would just like to shout out Skybox Designs for editing it as usual. I would not be able to keep posting on YouTube without him. And I would also like to thank all of my Patreon supporters because, again, I would not be posting on YouTube without you guys either. So thank you all very much. If you guys want to support me directly, you can check out all the links in my description. PayPal, Patreon, as well as HTLT. You can see the supplements behind me. HTLT and GregDoucette.com. Links or whatever. I get 10% of commission off anything you order. You do not get a discount, however. Tragic, I know. But 10% for me, it helps support me. So if you want to do that, go right ahead. But until the next one, remember, only the strong subscribe. I am not dead yet. And if you are not either, you can be satisfied with your physique. But it's also great to know that there's always a tomorrow waiting for you.